Hello, this is Pam. Hello, Pam.
Hello.
Pam is going to share ergonomic advice from Pinnacol Assurance. What is ergonomics, you ask?
Well, ergonomics is the practice of improving people's efficiency and health in their working environment.
So with things like their chair, desk, and computer?
Exactly. With so much time spent at our desk and computers, it's so important to reduce the risk of MSDs, but also aim to reduce stress and increase efficiency and productivity.
So, let's get started. The first place to start is your chair. Check to see if your chair has the following adjustments. Does your seat go up and down? Does your backrest go up and down or recline? Does your seat pan move forward, backward, or tilt forward? Do you have lumbar support built into the chair? Are you able to get close enough to your keyboard, mouse, or writing surface without reaching? Do you have well-padded armrests that can be adjusted up and down, side to side, or pivot? And lastly, do you fit in your seat? You may need a larger or smaller seat pan depending on the size of your frame. The key is for your chair to support your seat, thighs, low back, and forearms to allow for a neutral posture. Think of the S-curve in your back. When we sit, the spine straightens, so we want to get the natural curve back by ensuring you have support in the small of your back. As a goal, ensure that your feet are resting comfortably on the floor. If not, lower the chair or use a footrest. Next, there should be a 1 to 2 inch gap between the back of your knees and the front edge of the chair when your back is against the chair. If needed, adjust the seat pan depth to ensure proper alignment. Ensure your lumbar support is positioned at the correct height by adjusting the lumbar curve to just above your belt line. Also, adjust the backrest 5 to 10 degrees so that you aren't sitting straight up and down. Your armrest should be both height and lateral adjustable, which is important for shoulder support. Be sure to avoid elbow contact with hard surfaces. And lastly, ensure your armrests do not interfere with access to the keying, mousing, or writing surfaces. Next, we will move on to the workstation. Next, we will optimize your comfort and efficiency while working at your workstation. Sit in your chair and gently drop your arms to your sides, keeping your elbows down and bend your forearms up. Now place your hands face down parallel to the floor and slide up to your workstation. Ask yourself the following questions. Did you have to raise your arms up and down? Or are your shoulders relaxed with elbows close to your body with your wrists straight and elbows bent to 90 degrees? If not, adjust your seat height or use an adjustable keyboard tray to achieve this position. If you raise your chair and feet are no longer flat on the floor, a footrest can be used. Now, let's talk about keyboards. Keyboards should allow for proper positioning of the elbows and allow for a straight wrist posture without creating contact stress on the soft tissues in the palm of the hand and wrist. With the hands on the home row keys, the wrist should be flat with a straight line from the middle of the elbow to the fingertips. If the keyboard is at your elbow height, but you press your wrists on a hard surface while keying, use the wrist rest only for short periods. However, with so many keyboard options available, the most important thing to remember is to keep your wrists straight and your shoulders relaxed. Be sure to float your fingers over the keyboard. Just imagine the way a pianist floats their fingers over the keys of a piano. Now, let's move on to the mouse. Your hand should have a loose grip on the device. Consider a different size mouse if you don't have a loose grip. Your wrist should be straight and at the same level as your keyboard, moving the mouse from the elbow and shoulder rather than from the wrist. Always remember, your mouse should take little effort to move and point. Choosing a suitable monitor and ensuring its proper placement is incredibly important. Be sure to place your monitor directly in front of you, at least an arm's length away. If you use two monitors consistently, place them at an angle so that you are looking at the center where the monitors meet. The top of the monitors should be at eye level. However, if you are wearing progressive lenses, move the monitor 1 to 2 inches lower. If your monitor is not adjustable, you can use a riser or books.
All this sitting also reminds me of how important it is to move around and not just sit at your desk all day. Be sure to take breaks at least every 45 minutes where you stand up, you stretch your arms, your neck, your back to reduce the static load. Now let's talk about desk organization and management.
When organizing your workspace, consider that reaches made frequently should be performed so that your elbows remain at your side. Make sure you aren't reaching across your body while you're at your desk. If your telephone is used frequently, refrain from actions that place your neck in awkward positions. Instead, opt for a hands-free set. For all of you data inputters out there, instead of placing your documents on your desk, use a 3-ring binder or a document holder to avoid awkward neck bending.
Thank you so much for taking the time to learn more about how to make your workspace more ergonomic and efficient.
By incorporating these suggestions, you can help ensure a healthy, efficient, and productive work environment.
For more information on ways you can incorporate ergonomic practices into your work habits, visit Pinnacol.com.